All right, welcome everybody to Audio and Editing Techniques. My name is Simeon Douglas Liebman. This go-to meeting, of course, still having some issues with getting the recording to work, but I am recording this message via Camtasia. So I'm going to try and walk you through the process of working here, how to gather resources, and how to get this first assignment, which is the Digital Foley Assignment 1, kind of working. And we'll see if we can get this thing to roll. All right. Let's see here now. Let's go to screen and share. Okay. I am now screen sharing. All right, so I'm going to walk us through this first assignment, how to get things started. Walk you through a little bit of Adobe Premiere and how that functions and works. Go ahead and hide that. Okay, so first things first, let me go ahead and just get through the basic applications here of course, what your process is. Let me go ahead and log in, of course. Should have had this up already. So last week, of course, I kind of walked you through a few things. As far as navigating through the bright space, I ran out of daylight and ran out of battery, of course, so that didn't help. But today I'm going to make sure you guys are aware of where you can get some resources and get started on this actual assignment. So here we are, week 2. All right, so again, please guys, go through this. Make sure you take the attendance acknowledgement. That's just a simple thing that verifies what you did. There's usually an overview of what we're covering. There's your go-to meeting links if you need to get in touch with me. And please, again, research on what is Foley, who's Jack Foley, who's Ben Burt, what do these studios do? Basically what this is, and there's some links here for some free sound effects. I'll show you some other sources as well. And then how to get started on assignment 1. Let me just go to that. So I'm going to walk you through Adobe Premiere, working in setting a project folder. That is very, very important. And the best way to kind of go about that, guys, is on your desktop, create a folder. Call it Audio and Editing Techniques. Create an Assignment 1 folder because you're going to want to put everything in. You can see I'm also starting to compile sound effects folders, music folders. In this case, of course, I'm asking you to find an existing video. It could be a video, a film, an animation. It really doesn't matter. The whole idea is you are going to extract the existing audio track or music track or sound effects track and make it your own audio track. You saw a sample I provided from a student on there as well. So let's talk first about getting inside here. Okay, let me just make a new folder here, and I'll just call it my video clip. I can even make a new folder here and get sound effects. I can make a new folder in here and call it music if I want to have some musical score. And we're going to start to propagate now how to get a hold of all that we need to get here. All right, so let's talk about finding a video clip. Now, again, there's several ways to go about this. The truth is if you have a clip that you want to use. So let's say you want to find a snippet of animation or a film clip or something like that. I like to play with things that are, not necessarily popular. Just because it's you're a little less likely to have somebody hunt you down and come after you. So let's just find a simple little animation here. Let's see, what am I looking for? Let's see, animation. I'll just type in some other search queries here. Robot. Okay, so here's an animated short film. This will work great, right? So I've got this little animated short film. And it's not that long. It's 30 seconds. That's plenty of time, really.
What if you didn't have to get your...
And what I'm going to do, though, because there is a way of kind of extracting video clips from online resources, and it's typically typing in YouTube to MP4. Keep Vid's another one, and you can see there's lots of clip converters that are out there. Just be aware that some of them are legitimate, some of them aren't. And all we're going to need to do here is, you can see, is insert the link to go. So you grab that link, copy it, right? Just copy the URL, put it in here, and let's see if this one's actually legitimate and functions. Usually it jumps us around. And here you can see, I basically can get a download video, and it usually gives us a variety of types. See, so you can see I can get a 1280 by 720. Look at all these pop-ups. But I really don't need is with, because it gives me video, it gives me more options. For example, here is a 1920 1080. Let me go ahead and see if that'll work with the download. And there you see it has downloaded it. All I have to do, of course, is save video as, give it the correct folder, pause, save video as. Let's see if it lets me do this. Come on. There we go. And I can call this my video and find the correct folder, audio and editing techniques, assignment 1, video, and I'll just name it video. And it's going to download now in 1920 by 1080. And you can see the progress there. Now, I don't really know yet exactly what, I'm not sure exactly yet what sound effects I need, but remember I did kind of provide you guys some references as to sources. There's the Sound Bible. There is, even if we go to our, because we're Art Institute, we actually provide you guys portals to online content, libraries of music and videos and so on. And this is going to be very helpful as we go further on down. So if I go to the online library here, come on, it's going to take us to the online library portal. And we have access, of course, to an entire bunch of different libraries. We have sound, let's see here. So if I go to all resources and I browse by subject, you can see there's audio production. And you see we have a couple different resources here. Audio blocks is probably the best that we have available, but there's also this one called FirstCom. But be aware that you have to go to your campus guide based upon your campus to get the correct password and username to access FirstCom. So I'm just going to go to audio blocks. Now remember, you have to go through the library in order to get access to these sound effects, in order to get access to the story blocks, audio blocks, which again has music and sound effects, and it's a pretty good resource. See, while that loads, you see I'm still downloading my audio. And here again, whether it's audio, I could even choose my sound effects, okay? Or I can choose, some simple background music or something. So maybe I want to choose something like that. Let's just do music, and I'll call it, in the music, I'll type in something like cartoon whimsy or something like that. Like I said, I don't even know what the video clip is yet. But I'm just starting to find. So here's a kid, family, happy, classical. So there you have it, right? Some simple background music. And here again, remember some important stuff here. We can download here as MP3 or WAV. What's the difference? Well, MP3 is a compressed file format, meaning that it is designed for compression, so it's a lightweight video audio file. However, kind of like a JPEG, but because it's a compressed file format, every time we use it and compress it and use it and compress it, it actually loses quality. And that's what's bad about it. So really, the WAV files are larger files, but they're also just higher quality files. So I'm going to go ahead. You can see that's going to start to download there. Go ahead here to sound effects. Now, I just happen to know here that the clip I chose has like a robot. So you could think about your Wall-E, or I'm going to need mechanical sounds, maybe the sounds of wheels and cranks, clinking, clanking sound effects. And here, so I might as well go here, like here, and say mechanical wheel. Let's see what it shows. Okay, maybe just mechanical. So here I get some sound effects like gear switches. You hear what that is? Sliding metal doors. machinery. Ooh, I like that. So let's see here. What was that machine? Let's go ahead and download that wave. Here's some more effects, right? Some little mechanical shift. Go ahead and download that. Gear turn. Mechanical buttons. Kind of like that little switch. Go ahead and download that. Kind of like machinery, see? So just sounds of movement is what I'm basically trying to introduce. Metal squeak. See that? And what we're looking at here, guys, this is called the waveform. And what this waveform shows is this visual sound pattern of what the audio that you're basically playing. So this is going to help us for syncing and timing our audio files, our sound effect files, when we actually composite and edit them into the video clip. Let's see, laid out gear. Let's see here, I'm just trying to find. I kind of like that. So again, we're just building libraries of files. Don't like that. It's not too bad. So this is what we kind of come up with here. We just start downloading and downloading lots of audio files. And now I can go to my downloads here. Excuse me. Let's go here and, okay, copy. Those are all those sound effects I'm basically downloading. I really didn't see where my video went. Thought it was downloading. Wondering if I'm going to have to go find that again. So let's go again to YouTube to MP3. I don't know where it went, so YouTube to MP3. Let's try this site. Of course, I lost my YouTube. There it is. Again, I don't need it to play. I just need the URL. Shut that down. Shut that down. And try to find that 1920 by 1080. Let's see, MP4. Now you see here, this one only gives me a limited number of video files, so I don't really like that. So let's try and find that other one I used. Oh, I'm MP4, my bad. That's the difference. There it is. Okay, download video. There we go. And I'm going to let that. It's funny, it didn't give me different ways. I want that one downloaded. Hold on. Cancel that old one. There's the big one I wanted. Cancel those ones I didn't want to download. This is the big one I want. Save video as. Assignment 1. Video. Oh, I guess I went to the right folder afterwards. Okay. It just automatically went to the folder. All right. So again, I'm going to go hunt down more audio as I see it, as I need it, and so on. So I'm going to keep all this open because I want us to get to this next level here of what we basically say here about getting started. And again, open Adobe Premiere and create and define your project folder. What does that mean? Well, here is my Adobe Premiere. I've launched it, right? And unless we've already created a project folder, we don't want to open it. We want to create a new project. And here is where I can call it what I want to call it, right? I can put my last name here, assignment 1 Foley. And the location, this is very important. You want to set the location to that folder that we've created. So again, I'm going to go to my desktop, audio editing, assignment 1, and select that folder. So you see it's going to audio editing techniques, assignment 1, and the name of the project is last name assignment 1 Foley. And we've got some other settings here we can mess with, of course, but you know, one thing some of you might have, if you have a smaller computer, you may have to go to your scratch disk if you get an error that says scratch disk is full. And I'm just going to hit OK. And this, of course, gets me into the folder, right? Or the project for Adobe Premiere. Now, I provided lots of little tutorials and videos on how to navigate through the Adobe Premiere. It's almost impossible for me to just cover it all at this point. I'm just going to show you guys the base element of getting started. Because we basically have here, like I say, if I go to Window and Workspace, you see I've got a couple different defaults here that I can play with. For instance, we're going to be doing editing. So if I choose the editing, the layout's going to change just a little bit. So I have my project folder down here to drag in all my assets. I'm actually going to move that up a little bit so I have a little bit larger timeline down here. Okay, so import media to start. This is what my source is. This is my program. So this is my output panel. That's why it's blank right now. And here is a timeline. And some of the tools I'm going to use today, I'm going to use things like razor blades, and I'm going to use, you know, like a T tool to create a little title slot. You can hear this is your audio levels to make sure you're not peaking. Excuse me. Okay, so to get started here, what we have to do is we have to start by dragging or importing in. See, I can hit search or I can just drag it, my files. So I'm going to start off with just bringing in my video file. And just drag that in. Okay. I can even, if I want to here, go to my sound files and even start to think about pulling in all my sound files. And again, I can, as I get more, I can add more into it. Okay, so here's my video file. Now, to get this in here, the best way to get it in here so that it is the original 1920 by 1080. By the way, you can even see here where I can scrub through. See that? But the best way, or the easiest way to get that in here, guys, is to come over and choose. Now, I know it's here. You just can't quite see it. But typically, it gives me a new sequence. Another way, you see no sequence is selected here, would be to come to Sequence and just drag it in. Now, because I know it's 1920 by 1080, the output setting is going to be 1920 by 1080. If this was smaller than 1920 by 1080, I would have to come up to my sequence settings and verify or update or increase it so that it is a 1920 by 1080 pixel layout. And here you can see I can scrub, and here I have some zoom tools. See that? And the cool thing here, guys, you notice this did not come over with the audio. So I'm actually going to stop now and go back. Okay? Let me go ahead and get rid of that. And I'm going to go quickly back here. Week 2. I think it's week 2 is 1. And I'm going to just grab that student sample. Okay? Let's see if I can find it. Let's see, would it be here? Because I did provide that student sample. See? Right here. And I'm going to download that. Mostly because that has audio attached. And I'm going to use that as kind of a lesson of what do you do if you have audio attached to your video already. That one way that I downloaded of the 1920 1080 did not include the audio. So, hey, great. I don't have to worry about detaching or unlinking that. That was something that several students have reached out to me already about is how do we unlink a video from its audio? So I'm going to let that finish up here. one. Let me see if it's going in. No, it's going into my downloads. There it is right there. It's just not done yet. Let me go back to week 2 so I could get the breakdown. Because as you can see, I'm not only looking for the updated Foley project as an MPEG-4, but I'm also looking for a screen capture of the actual Premiere Pro work screen. See, so again, we already created our project. From the pull-down menu, you can choose New Sequence, or what I did is I just dragged it because I knew it was 1920. Whoops, 1920 by 1080. And I'm sorry, I'm just waiting for this to get there. Boy, it's slow. "30 seconds left." Well, that's going. I might as well talk a little bit more about what we have here. So again, here, this is where we're going to non-linear edit. So what you can see here is we've got, it comes with a default section here of 3 different video tracks and 3 audio tracks. Now, that does not mean I can't right-click here and add another track if I need that. Okay, so I can, think about intermixing and combining all these audio files together. Pardon me while I squirt my cat. All right, looks like it's finished. Yes, there it is. It's finished. Let's see. There's her file. I'm just going to cut it. Go back to the video file here so we can use it as something to work on. So, all right, so this is her assignment. This is the one that I provided there that she had, like I said, had brought the video in. Okay. And let me back that off so we can zoom in to see all the different layers. But you can see here, though, so this has all been built by her. She found a video clip, and she recreated all that ambient sound, the sound of the forest, the sound of the rain, the sound of the fluttering little creatures. Let's say this is your video that you find, and it has an audio attached to it. Well, we have to do this process here called unlinking, and that is by right-clicking, unlinking it. That separates the two, and then you get and remove the video clip or the audio clip that came with it, and now you can start to add your own sound effects. All right, so that's how you unlink. Now I'm going to go back. Okay, change my settings. And again, this is this project, so I'm just going to start here, let's say. Right where it starts. Watch this, then I can grab my razor and trim and remove. And because we don't have to do that long of an assignment here, I'm just going to get out here around the 3-second stage or 30-second stage, grab my razor, clip and cut, and remove it so that now I have the clip I want. All right. So this is my video. So you see I've got a little mechanical sound of this little robot coming up. Now something I may want to start with here, might be the sound of that music, right? Remember, I downloaded some background music, and I'll put this in here. And you can even see here where, again, it goes a little long. Now, again, even though I'm deleting the pieces I don't want here, you could always just grab a hold of the corner and stretch it out if you need it. So let's just see what this is, just with new music. You know what? I kind of like that right there. Maybe I want him to actually come up, so I'll give myself a little bit of time in the beginning. Watch now. Timing it out. There we go. All right, so I'm ready to start syncing this up. Okay. A little bit off. Like I say, when you zoom in close enough, see, this is the sound. Yeah, I'm trying to get it to where his little legs shake and vibrate when he gets in there. Let's see. There we go. All right, so I've got some musical background, a musical score to go with this. Now I need some mechanical sounds. So like right here when he starts to move, and I can start to come in here and find these machinery sounds. Now again, if I double click it, it lets me come in up here. See, and I can hear it. So I kind of like that right there. And I'm going to come in there and drag it there. See that? So now it lines up. See that? Let's go ahead and move along here. See if I can use it anyplace else. If he makes that move again, for example. Okay, so he makes some swishing movements here with that pencil. Let me come here to here and see if I can't find some swooshing air. You know? Flash swoosh. Okay. Small whoosh. Kind of like that one right there. Go ahead and down that. Flash through here. Let me hear some. I want wheels moving maybe because he starts to wheel. Squeaky wheels move. Ooh, that's pretty good. Put that in there. So all we're doing now, like I said, is just propagating. Finding this stuff. Sound effects. Again, it's going to my downloads. Let's see here. I'm looking for tense wind smoosh swoosh. Squeaky wheels. Okay, cut. Paste. By the way, I might as well come back here now to my downloads and let's clear this all out since I've already got those. So I'm bringing in my metals. Where did it go? I need my whoosh. Where did my whoosh go? Here it is. These two. So squeaky, and audio blocks cinematic whoosh. Okay, so let's see here. Where's my audio blocks swoosh? Come on. There we go. And let's zoom in on it. You can see the pattern here of that swoosh. See that? So I'm just going to find the first time he turns it. Right there. That should be the first one. And you always want the audio fountain, if you could see in there, if I zoom in close enough, you can see that this wave file has basically a valley and then peaks and then drifts off. So wherever it starts to goes from the valley to the peak is where you want it to basically start. If that is too long, we could even play around here with the speed or duration. So you see it's currently 18 frames. So I could come here and say I want it to be 75%. Speed duration, let's come here and take this down. Instead of 18 duration, let's take it down to 14. And that actually shortened it. So let's hear this. See? You see, if I hold in, just like with most Adobe, if I hold in Alt, I can copy that. Let's see what this sounds like. See? Now let me go ahead and find when he starts to wheel off here. Right here. Okay, and let's find that squeaky wheel. There it is. Where'd you go? Squeaky wheels. I went to start there, so I line that up. Oh, see how he basically stops right there? This is a great time to take my little razor, cut it, and get rid of the squeaky wheels I don't need. What else do I think I need here? There was that point where he kind of was doing like, it's like zoom or enhancement, that sound of, computers zooming. High-tech zoom. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so let's go ahead and add that. Screen interface. Whoosh. No. What the hell? Let's go with that one. All right, so I added those two to the mix. Once again, we need to go into our downloads, find the two, high-tech zoom, and put them into our sound effect library. Now again, if you look at your video clip and you evaluate it, you can then hunt down all your potential sound effects before you ever even get started. So then it's just a matter of just dropping them in the time that they need to be dropped into. Here now. Let's grab one here. And I can zoom in to that point. See? Now, see, this is a little long. And again, right click, speed duration. It was a little too fast, so I could say, oops, again, the wrong direction. Speed duration. Let's say 70%, which stretches it. See that? Let's see. You know what? I kind of like this better. There. And 50%. There we go. So that's, see, actually doing that, but I wanted to find my other zoom and overlap it here. See? So we're kind of overlapping zooms together. So let's see what we've built so far. Watch this. That's all it is. It's pretty impressive to see it come together that good. And I mean, I could keep going here, and I could come up with more sound effects like elevator sound. Let's see. I'm trying to find one that is raising. Maybe a press. Maybe some kind of electronic press or something. Let's see. Not a button press. I want something hydraulic. Let's see here. Maybe I should type in hydraulic. Spelled it wrong. That's not. No. Let's see. Lift. Industrial. That's what I was looking for. All right, so we can put this in there. So that's my hydraulic lift. It's a little bit long for me, but I'm going to use that because I want to use it and then show you how you can control the in-out point so it's not nearly as loud. Okay, so there's my large industrial lift. Paste that in there. Open my folder, drag it in. Large industrial lift. But this is where we start to run into some issues, guys, where you can see where I'm kind of running out of room here to actually put this in. Now, I could put it here because I said I don't need all of it. Actually, I'm going to use the ending of it here. See that? So let's see. Okay, let's see though. Let's zoom in so I can show you how we can control audio in and out points. Let's do this. Okay, because it's lasting all this time. I really only need it to start about here. Okay, so let me go ahead and knock this down. Move it over. Because we can also control here the effects of the audio itself. So you see here in the effects controls, we have things like levels, which is the decibel levels. Okay, so if I actually come here and say, yeah, I want this to be this loud here, I can key, just like in After Effects, I can put a key point or a keyframe there, which will allow me to go to the beginning and bring it down in decibels. And what it actually does now it's fading up. And I'm going to do a fade out here as well. So when it stops, it stops. Of course, now I need the sound, a big heavy thud, like a big electric thud, or let's see, metal thud. Let's see. No, metal hit on metal. No. Looking for something. Free metal crash. I'm looking at some. Let's see here. Metal pole scraping, metal fork. Let's see. Shut. I'm looking for the sound of something heavy. There. No. There, that's nice. I like that. See? And again, these are all Foley designs here. See? Let's download that one. Lock metal. See? Paste. Lock metal pad. Here. Here. Lock pad. And I want that to happen right when it stops. Again, zoom in. In fact, I'm going to have to zoom in quite a bit here because there's actually two different. There's a hit and then a lock. I don't want the hit. I just want the lock. So all we're doing here, guys, is just overlapping this. Right there. And if I want to exaggerate this even, like maybe if I can add a lot of different cool effects here even. Like maybe this is just too soft, for example. Oh, I lost it. Where are you at? Yeah. Come on. There it is. Let's see. There we go. But maybe I want this to be really loud. I can increase the decibel level so it's louder. And watch this. Inside these here, I have effects. I have audio effects. I've got things like amplitude, compression, all this stuff. Well, I want this to sound like it's a little bit bigger. So I'm going to actually add, let's see here, amplitude, compression. Let me amplify it. See? And that now will be a larger kind of, see that? Like it's actually, I can also come up here and see reverb. Maybe I'll add a little bit of reverb. And there we go. And the point here, what I'm trying to make with all this, as we slowly add and build and build and build and build, like I said, I'm starting to run out of audio layers here. Remember, I can right click and add a track. Okay. See how that added a track for me? And I could even come here and lock tracks that I don't want to move anymore. And that's just how we build upon this. So you want to kind of just fill the environment with sound. Okay, see here. What else can I find here? Let's say alarm. Let's see. Emergency alarm. Now, that's not bad, but it's a lot of it. That's my problem. See, I'm looking for some warning. Ah, there we go. Let's grab that. That's a nice one there because you can use that whenever he's using his vision. But, obviously, it's a lot of alarms, and I only need maybe 2. Okay. Warning, attention, security. Yes, that's nice. Oops, make sure we get back to our project folder. Warning, attention. Okay. But as you can see here, this warning attention alarm has a lot of them. Here we go. There it is there, right? So you see it's got a lot of them repeated. Well, remember, use our trusty razor blade. Maybe I'll borrow this and use it over here where he uses the zooms. And start using little bits and pieces here. Let's see if that's too much. Where's my other alarm I took out of there? Okay. Drop that right in there. All right, let's go back to the beginning and see what we built so far. Okay, need a little bit more there. All right, so you see how we're just quickly building that up, getting it done. Now, you notice there's a lot of stuff going on inside this character's head that, you have to kind of, even though there may not be a sound that it's making, this is where, like I say, they had to work really hard with, like, Wally, because they had to make him sound like he was thinking by giving him an actual voice, okay? Even though he's not saying anything, but, he had emotion. And that's where, some of these, like the eyes moving around like that, maybe might be a little cranky noise or a squeaky noise. Let me see here what I have. Maybe. Maybe the sound of, ooh, I'm going to use that. Okay, so let's go ahead, and wherever he's thinking, I'm going to use those little thought sounds. And even here, right, I can come in here, back to my effects controls, key my volume or my levels, and then have them fade out. And now I've got his and select, Alt, drag. Get this kind of repeated. Go ahead and find wherever he's got some kind of acting or emotion. Add a few more of those. Just the sound of like mechanical elements moving around. See? It's not just dead space. And wherever I have close-up of his face, I'm going to have some more of that kind of happen. See? So wherever he's not really doing anything, but just kind of moving along, let's try it now. See, let's just have that click, click, click sound is just enough. Don't like that one. Don't like that one. I think I need another pencil swoosh here. Let's see, where was that pencil swoosh? Machinery operation. Tension. I'm just trying to find the... No. There it is. He moves that pencil there. Even have some fun here, like when these wheels are squeaking. Here he wheels towards us. That's where I could have wheels towards us here. Let's see, so this must be my squeaky wheels here. Right? Yeah, watch this now. So now, here where he goes right to left. Back to my effects controls, I'm going to key the volume. Move up a little bit to here and increase the volume so it's loud. And then come back here, send that back down to 0. So I'm playing with the volume control. So if he's coming towards me, it's getting louder. Side to side. Here. I can drop it down so he's further away. Loud. I can even do panning, so I could actually make it sound like he's going right to left. See, where's Squeak again? Squeaky wheels. I want to get a clip of that squeaky wheel, just like this. I gotta zoom out so I don't damage what I've already built. Here he's going right to left, but he's pretty far away. So actually going to turn that down a little bit. Get rid of that piece I don't need. Get rid of that piece I don't need there. And like I said, I can go right speaker to left speaker. See? By going into this panning mode. See this panner? And you see it's basically it's left and it's right. So I can go right. Oops. Right, put the key in there. Put it here. And go all the way to left. So that little clip there is going to make the squeaks sound like they're going right to left. Music's a little loud. All right. I don't know if you've noticed too that while I've been doing this, it's actually been auto-saving. I'm at about 24 seconds here. You know, I'm only looking for about 30. But this is something to understand, that if I don't trim off the backside here, right? If I don't put an end to this here when I'm all said and done, and that could be something as simple as just making sure all your clips end where you want it to end. See? Unlock that. I don't want it to, if it keeps going there, it's going to make my video that. So if you bring in like a 1-hour video and you don't trim it, you're going to turn in your project with all this extra stuff that I don't want to see. Another way you can do that is by having out points. See, do mark outs, mark ins. The last thing you'll see with these projects, which people do, is they have a little bit of a title in the beginning here. Very easy to do. Grab the T tool, click in here, and just provide me some information, right? So, who did it? What was it? Audio and editing techniques. I want all the information. Assignment 1, which is what? Digital Foley. You could even put in here where you found the clip, or video courtesy of video copyright of whoever made that. I almost recommend that so you don't get in trouble. You could put the date, right? So that you have a track of who did it and where. You can even put in Adobe Premiere, right? Because that was the software that you used to do it. Here, if I keep coming down here, I'm going to find my text information on my left-hand side where I can change my format, I can change my font, I can change the size of it all. I'm just going to put that in the middle there. And look at that, it automatically has a little bit of overlap here. See that? So I could even come here, right here, and watch this. I'm going to come down and find my opacity, key the opacity, go a little bit further, and bring that opacity down. Okay, so you see it's going to fade out. I could even do that at the beginning if I want to by just saying, hey, add a key, go to the beginning, and turn down opacity. So I've got a little bit of opening title. Notice there, it's a little slow. Speed duration, I'm going to make that be exactly 4 seconds instead of 429. That way, it will disappear. Right click. Hold on. Just a little faster. 03. 20. Just make it a little bit so it fades away and starts. Again, it's auto-saving for me. But this is where we have to worry about the output type. Okay, because look what I have here. I've pull-down menu, new sequence. I've got all my video and sounds in the project. I've moved the video in the timeline, right? I've separated or unlinked my audio and video. I basically began dropping sounds to synchronize points on the timeline. I can start to trim, adjust volume or panning of all the clips, which we did, okay? And again, I can set the out point of a range, which is basically what I did by just cutting all the video off. Now, only thing we're missing here, guys, is how to output, all right? So the output you hear, create a video, here it says here, cut the video, minimum of 20. So guess what? I've actually done over 20 seconds. So I've done enough of a digital Foley to actually satisfy the assignment. Okay, sound effects, background music. So there's a couple things we need to do now. First, we need to export the final digital Foley as a 1920 1080 MPEG-4 H.264 compression. I do not want to see the Adobe Premiere file or folder, mostly because if you just give me, right, if I go back to my assignment 1 folder, if you just give me this Premiere profile, it's not going to include all the sound effects. It's not going to include all the video. It's not going to include anything that you've done. No music, no nothing. Because they're not embedded in the file. It's a project folder for that purpose. Okay? So what I need to see here is an export of the video. So we have to go to File, Export, Media. Again, it'll verify here it's a 1920 by 1080, but we must choose H.264. Okay, and you'll see it'll be 1920 1080, match source, high rate. Make sure that is high rate, or else you can see we've got a high quality 1080 1080 HD. So I can even choose that. Export video and audio. Change the name. Okay, you've got to change the name. Where's my audio and editing techniques assignment 1, right? And what am I looking for? Last name, assignment 1, Foley or Digital Foley, okay? And save. Now I can queue this to my media encoder, or I could just hit export. I recommend just hit export. I only do the queue if I'm doing a lot of projects and I don't want my computer to be working while I'm working. And that way, at the end of the day, I can just run my queue. Okay, it looks like it finished. Right, there's my Foley. You see it's only 49 megs, which is nice and small. But what else am I looking for in this assignment? I'd also like to see a screen capture JPEG image of the Premiere Pro. Okay, well, there's plenty of ways to do a screen capture. Okay, the easiest way is I'm going to make sure everything is visible here. Again, I don't really care about what's going on with that. I don't really care about, you can even see where I can change the size of all my files, see, so I can even look at it different this way. But my favorite way to do this is by doing a snip. Now, I'm a PC guy, I have a snipping tool. Okay, I can say new, and I can simply just come here and snip the project to include all my timeline. File, save as, and what would this one be called? This one would be called assignment 1, whoops, assignment 1, right, last name, PP Pro, actually it's PP Pro, okay, screen capture or screenshot, or you could say assignment 1, right? Screenshot. Save. What does that leave us with now? Well, in our assignment 1 folder, right? You see I've got my screenshot and I've got my video. Let's look at the video here in full screen in all of its glory. See? Oh, hold on. I've got so much open right now. Let me rewind it. Oh, I lost my squeals. Oh well. Hear those little clicks just kind of like, even though all it is like his eyes are moving a little bit, or what he's focusing in his brain, but having those little bit of clicks just give a little bit of like stuff's happening instead of just dead space. Similarly, if I didn't have my music in there, it would not be as good. Okay? So, again, pretty impressive. Now, all we need to do here is click on your project folder. Oh, of course, I'm in my project folder. I have to look at this as a student. Hold on. You as a student. And then what does it give you? It gives you your submission folder. Okay, so I can click on my submission folder. Okay. And all we do is we hit upload, find your folders. Okay. I can hold control and hit them both. Hit open. It uploads them. Okay. And we hit, of course, submit once it's done. That is essentially the assignment in just over an hour. Okay. So try your damnedest to do it. If you have any issues, please reach out to me. And I'd be more than willing to help you guys out a little bit more. You see, we can even put some comments in here, and then we hit submit when we're all said and we're all done. That's it. That's Digital Foley. So, let's see here. Let me go ahead.